How's it going, everyone? We've got a pair of new PlayStation Store sales to go over. We've got the fall savings sale as well as deals under $15. As always, I believe the deals under $15, it's just a retread of the fall savings sale, just with the deals under $15. We're gonna limit this to full games, game bundles, and premium editions on the PlayStation Store. And that leaves us with 2,300 deals available, so got quite a lot to go over. We're obviously not going to look at everything, but definitely some notable stuff here right off the top in the front page. NBA 2K25 is 30% off for $49. That's got a premium trial as well if you want to check it out. GTA 5 Premium Edition on PS4 is $14.99, while the PS5 version is $19.99. Hogwarts Legacy getting cheaper and cheaper. PS4 version is $17.99, while the PS5 version is $21. I think for that price, that's a really good pickup. I really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. I've been pretty vocal about how much I like the game, and I have no affinity, no care in the world for Harry Potter. And I think, as just assessing it as an action RPG, it's a really, really well done game. Gran Turismo 7 25th Anniversary Edition is $54. My goodness, that game came out 2.5 years ago, and it's still holding up in price. I mean, that is the, special edition, but still, that's quite expensive. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, 50% off for $25. You see this right here, how Spider-Man Remastered, 50% off for $25. When did Spider-Man actually come out? Back in 2018, and they are still charging for Spider-Man because it's this remastered release for $25. You know what else is getting remastered that also got its price jacked up recently? A little game called Horizon Zero Dawn, and this is why I have an issue with the price getting jacked up, is because now it's going to retain this price point for a long time, and they're essentially artificially jacking up the price of the game, as you see with Spider-Man 2018 as well, which, isn't ideal. Horizon Zero Dawn was a game that people were picking up for like $9.99, and now it's going to be $49.99, and it's going to take a while for it to get discounted, so just something to think about. Alright, this is comical. Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PS4 is 30% off for $35. The PlayStation 5 version is 60% off for $28. I mean, I kind of understand Jedi Survivor just came out on the PS4, but that's still very comical that the PS5 version is cheaper. I love Jedi Survivor. I think it's a great game. I imagine most people watching our channel, the PS5 version would be more relevant to them. Did have some performance issues. It's gotten better as far as, it maintaining 60 FPS. The game itself is great, and we do know that the third game in the Jedi trilogy is being worked on, the wrap-up to Cal's story, which is a little bit of a bummer, and I'm not ready to see Cal go, man. I loved Fallen Order, love Jedi Survivor, and I'm not ready for this series to conclude, but it is what it is. Such is life. It Takes Two is $9.99. Hitman World of Assassination is $28. That's a really, really good price, all things considered. Cyberpunk 2077, the base game, is $29.99. That's still a good deal, but what I would say at this point is wait till Black Friday. I feel like Cyberpunk 2077, the Ultimate Edition, is going to go on sale, and that'll be the best way to go. And, that is for those of you that have the PS5 with the disc drive. A little bit of a bummer if you don't have a disc drive, which is, you're limited to the digital release, but Phantom Liberty is a very, very good extension to Cyberpunk 2077, and even though, again, the base game is fine, the expansion being included with the Ultimate Edition really makes it advantageous to go that route. Red Dead Redemption 2 is $19.79, Red Dead Redemption 1 is $35. Would be nice to see RDR1 get cheaper and cheaper, but it is what it is. These things retain in price point when it comes to Rockstar titles. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, 58% off for $29.39. Love me some Rift Apart. Thought it was a great game. Just a little bit on the shorter side, but now south of $30. Pretty good pickup there. Mortal Kombat 1, $25 for that. That's pretty good, given that game's only a year old. That's a sizable discount for MK1. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, still way too expensive at $35. Get out of here with that. Last of Us Part 1 Digital Deluxe, $49.59 if you have Plus Extra. That's the best way to play Last of Us 1 at this point. One of my favorite games of all time, but I would say at that price point, it's just way, way, way too high. High on Life is $24. Crew Motorfest Gold Edition, $40 for that. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is $9.99. You should get the complete edition, so you get the DLC. Battlefield 2042, $8.99 on that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is $14.99. Valhalla Complete Edition is $35, which is actually a pretty decent deal. Borderlands 3, $5.99 on that. The Pandora's Box Collection is $37.50. I mean, if you're one of the few people that has nothing Borderlands related in your library, that includes everything, the DLCs, all that stuff. So from a value standpoint, it's quite good. It's just how many people is that going to be relevant to? I don't know. Mafia Trilogy is $14.99. Awesome deal for that. Mafia 1, 2, and 3. $5 a pop for all three of those games is tremendous. Highly, highly recommend that. Definitely a good pickup there. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, 50% off for $29.99. I mean, it's not going to get any cheaper, so if you want to check it out, you know, pick it up, you get 3 games there, and I say it's not going to get cheaper. It probably will in a while, but it's been out for a few years, and Rockstar Games seems to hit their, you know, basement price threshold, and then they just don't get any cheaper. Like, GTA 5 has been settled in its price point, Red Dead 2 been settled in its price point. It just is what it is with them. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is $16, quite a good deal there. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga for $15 is awesome. I really enjoyed that game. Sonic Superstars 50% off for $30. You can readily get that physically for $20, and I think $20 is the ideal price to pay, but, you know, if you want to pay $30 and you're itching for that style of Sonic game, that's not a bad pickup. Excited for Generations X Shadows. I think that'll be a great release there. Persona 5 Royal is $24. I mean, it's P5R. It's one of the best JRPGs of all time, and hell, I don't even have to say it's one of the best JRPGs of all time. It's legitimately one of the best video games of all time. It's tremendous. You've got north of 100 hours of gameplay, and Royal does extend the experience. It's fantastic, so go check it out. If you don't want to spend the $70 on Metaphor in a couple days, that's definitely a good shout to pick up. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is $9.99. Great deal for Jedi Fallen Order. It used to go on sale for south of $5. I guess the price point, you know, they decided they could sell it for $9.99, which they probably can, and it's still a great pickup, and I strongly recommend it. Runs really well on the PS5 as well. Metro Saga Bundle is $9. That's always going to be a good pickup. Definitely recommend that with Metro 2033, Last Light, and Exodus Gold Edition. They have Exodus, the base game, for $449, but remember, with the Saga Bundle, you get the Gold Edition, so you get the DLC on top of Metro 2033 and Last Light. Far Cry 6 is $15. AC Odyssey, $12 on that. The AC Odyssey Ultimate Edition is $24, which is really good. You get the base game DLC, and you get AC3 Remastered, which also includes AC Liberation. That's a lot of value for your dollar. As much as I don't like the newer style of Assassin's Creed game, that's a lot of value. Detroit Become Human, $9.99 on that. If you're looking for a high-quality narrative-driven game, that's a really, really good pickup. Just saw that it cracked 10 million copies sold. Well-deserved. That's a really, really well-made game, and a compelling narrative that I think will resonate with a lot of people today. So $10 for that, quite good. Batman Arkham Knight base game is $4. Marvel Midnight Suns, $14.99 for the PS4 edition. PS5 version is $17.49. I liked Midnight Suns. It's done by Firaxis, the same people that brought you XCOM. Had like a card game gimmick going on for it as well. I'm not a big Marvel guy, but you know, the characters are going to resonate with a lot of people, and that is going to carry it for a lot of people, even more so than me. Pacific Drive, 40% off for $18. I really, really wanted to like Pacific Drive. Just not a big fan of the crafting elements, but I think from a atmosphere standpoint, visual standpoint, it's outstanding. And if the crafting survival elements don't, you know, turn you away, I think ultimately you'll have a really good time with that game, so definitely give that a look. Divinity Original Sin 2, $21 on that. I mean, that was Larian's title before Baldur's Gate 3. If you don't want to spend the, you know, $70 on Baldur's Gate 3, Divinity Original Sin 2 is not a bad shout either. Seems like the price point of that game got jacked up, though. I feel like it was getting going for way cheaper than $21, but Larian has some street cred now, and you know what? I would probably be doing the same thing if I was them. If I had that level of street cred now. Mafia Definitive Edition is $8. Pretty good deal there. Again, I would get the trilogy, but if you just want to get Mafia 1, not a bad shout. Beyond Good and Evil 2, 20th Anniversary Edition, $16 on that. That is a relatively recent release. Persona 3 Reload Digital Deluxe is $48. I mean, that includes some in-game items, but doesn't include the Episode Ages DLC because Sega gonna Sega. System Shock Remake is $24. Awesome atmospheric first-person title, a remake of System Shock. Really, really well done. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 bundle is $60. You can get Final Fantasy 6 discounted, which I know a lot of people want to play FF6. $14.39 on that if you want to buy it standalone. What else we got? Hi-Fi Rush, $18 on that. You guys know how I feel about that game. I think it's absolutely tremendous. So happy that a sequel will be coming to fruition. LA Noire is $19.99. Another one of those Rockstar games, man, that has hit its basement price threshold, and it's just not going to get any cheaper. It's going to settle at $19.99, but you know, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. 20 bucks for it is still a pretty decent pickup. I love the game when it initially came out, and, you know, it's a worthwhile playthrough. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is $8.99. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 for sub $10 is always going to be a banger of a deal. Strongly recommend that. Dying Light Definitive Edition, $9.99. Really well done game, great open world, great visual, great performance, just a really, really enjoyable game, and everybody should play it, especially with Dying Light the Beast coming out. Not a bad time to play Dying Light 1. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, first significant discount on this game, 40% off for $36. I really enjoyed Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Kind of wild to think that, you know, I feel like there have been so many games that have come out this year that it's wild to think that Grand Blue did in fact come out this year. It's not really in the Game of the Year contention talk, but I think like the tier below, like right below the Game of the Year nominees, I would throw Grand Blue Fantasy Relink in there. I thought the combat was great, the visual style is great, soundtrack is great. Narratively, it's a little bit jumbled if you're not super into Grand Blue, which is a bummer, but gameplay-wise, it's fantastic, and I would strongly recommend it. What else we got? Risk of Rain 2, 624, Final Fantasy X, 10-2 HD Remaster for $9.99 is great. Definitely do recommend that. FF10 is fantastic. And you know what? Final Fantasy X-2 ain't that terrible. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. Gotham Knights is $14. Apparently, WB Montreal working on a new DC game. Wonder what that could be. Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy is down to $15. New low for this. Tomb Raider 2013 ROTR and SOTR. I mean, if you're one of the two people that don't own any of the games, this is a great value pickup. I love the Tomb Raider games. It's just a shame that we haven't gotten a new one since 2018, but we do know Crystal Dynamics is working on a new game, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's out in 2025. But man, we were getting these releases super consistently, and now it's been 7 years since Shadow came out, which is a bummer, but what can you do? Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, $4.99 on that. Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice is $24. Outer Worlds Base is $15. Soul Calibur 6, $9.59. Lords of the Fallen is $35. Way too expensive on that. At like 20 bucks, I think it's pretty decent. But yeah, 35 is way too much. Speaking of way too much, Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash Deluxe Edition, baby. The worst game of the year. And I do not think that's hyperbole. That game is so terrible. JJK deserves so much better. And I'm not even a big JJK fan. I have nothing against it, but I know people that love it. And the fact that that was the video game outing, like, what are we doing here, Bandai Namco? I just saw you put out the banger with Sparking Zero. I'm not expecting Sparking Zero quality across the board, but JJK, you could have done so much more with that. But it is what it is. Ayun Chronicle 100 Heroes, 35% off for $32.49. I liked 100 Heroes. The game is just unfortunately really dated, and yes, it's a love letter to Suikoden, but at the same time, you can modernize it while being a love letter, and they didn't modernize it. I believe they're gonna do a sequel, so fingers crossed that turns out better, but it's still a worthwhile JRPG to play, just has its shortcomings for sure. Yakuza Like a Dragon for $9.99, awesome deal there. The start of Ichiban's story, definitely a good pickup, and you need to play that before Infinite Wealth. Unicorn Overlord Monarch Edition, 30% off for $49. Thought that game was great, one of the more underrated games of the year. One Piece Odyssey for $15 is quite good. Plague Tale Bundle, Plague Tale Innocence and Requiem for $32, really good pickup there as well. We got Tetris Effect Connected for $30, Naruto Storm Trilogy for $14, not a bad deal there, to get Naruto Storm 1, 2, and 3. Order 1886, baby, $9.99 on that. SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake, $24 on that's quite pricey. Disco Elysium Final Cut, $12, great game there. Wolf Among Us is $7.49, definitely worthwhile pickup there. Sackboy: A Big Adventure, you know, with the announcement that Little Big Planet 3 is going to be delisted later this month, Sackboy: A Big Adventure is going to be the game that you know, sustains the legacy of Sackboy, I guess you could say. I mean, and there's gonna be games that represent Sackboy and have Sackboy cosmetics and things of that nature, but man, Little Big Planet 4 would be great, or at least a remastered collection of Little Big Planet 1 and 2. I don't know. I feel like we could do more with LBP and Sackboy as a mascot. Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, $36. I mean, if you're at the point where you're ready to play Trails into Reverie, you probably have played the other games, so like, you already know. You already know. Legend of Heroes is dope, and $36 for that's a pretty good deal. Biomutant is down to $14, an additional 5% off if you're a Plus subscriber. You know, Biomutant on the cheap is actually a pretty decent game that I would recommend. Enjoyable open world game, was a Plus Essential title not too long ago. Chivalry 2, $16.49 on that. Tomb Raider Definitive, just Tomb Raider, that's $3.99. Rise of the Tomb Raider is $5.99. Those are both great deals. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, $30 on that. Love me some Battle Network, but Battle Network 1 is so archaic, is so dated. I mean, these are early days GBA titles, at least Battle Network 1 is. Like, that's to be expected, but man, going back and playing BN1, that game is colossally dated, but it is what it is. South Park Stick of Truth, $7.49 on that. Kenna Bridge of Spirits, $16. Dragon Quest XI is $19.99. Pretty decent pickup there as well. Yeah, there's a lot of good deals. Stranger of Paradise for $19.99 ain't even that bad. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning for $9.99. And I am on page 14 of 97, so this is going to take a while to break down. Ys 8 for 20 bucks. Great entry points in the Ys franchise. Final Fantasy 4, $14.39. Love Final Fantasy 4. Lost Judgment Digital Deluxe, $14. Just a ton of great deals. Mega Man X Legacy Collection, $7.99. I actually recently did a playthrough of Mega Man X 1 and 2, and man, those games are classics to this day. But yeah, a lot of good stuff discounted, and I know for a lot of you guys, I also see Chain Deco. Shout out to that game. That's a great throwback JRPG, good narrative, great art style, recommend that. But that's gonna do it for me. A lot of deals available, and I know a lot of you guys already own a lot of these games. It's just gonna be the reality when covering these sales, but it is what it is. That's gonna do it for me. Expect more coverage in the coming week as long as the sale lasts, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Sound off down below with all of your thoughts, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.